Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, as per standing orders number 32.2, I'd like to request the quorum bell to be rung for the first 5 minutes. Odonda Kadi. Odonda Kadi. Order. Honorable members, I can see the chief whip in the house. Maybe Honorable Seth, can you please confirm if you have quorum?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I can confirm that the House has got quorum. Thank you.
Clerk, can you please take us through the order paper of the day?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable members. Order paper 240 of today, Tuesday, 1st October 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have 2 communications to make. And the first one is the fifth edition of the County Assembly Sports Association, that is CASA. The CASA games are scheduled to take place from 18th to 27th of October 2024 in Bungoma County. And the County Assembly has registered various disciplines for participation. With the limited time remaining and to ensure adequate preparation by the teams, trainings will henceforth take place in 2 sessions, that is morning session starting from 10 a.m. and evening starting from 4 p.m. My second communication is I'd like to acknowledge in the public gallery the presence of Miss Michelle Kavagunzira, who is at the public gallery. And Ms. Kavagunzira is a 4th-year student at Maseno University, pursuing a degree in Bachelor of Procurement and Supply Chain Management. And she's currently on attachment at the Procurement Office. And we hope her time here will contribute to her academic growth and professional development. Next order, clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Leader of Majority.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to read a statement for this. For the calendar, starting 2nd of October to Tuesday, 8th of October. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to orders number 42, 2 of C, which mandates me as a member of the House Business Committee and on behalf of the County Assembly Majority Leader to present and lay on the table of the County Assembly a statement informing the County Assembly of the business coming before the House on the following week. Madam Speaker, this is therefore to bring to the attention of members and the County Assembly that for the week commencing Wednesday, 2nd October 2024 to Tuesday, 8th October 2024, the Select Committee on Assembly House Business at its last meeting approved the following tentative businesses to appear in the order papers as follows. On Wednesday, 2nd October 2024 at 9 a.m., papers. The Leader of Majority will lay on the table of the County Assembly the Kisumu County Education Fund, that is the annual report, and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2024. 2, the chairperson of Select Committee on Budget and Appropriation, Honorable Joachim Swaga, will table the committee report on consideration of the Kisumu County Finance Bill 2024, County Assembly Bill number 3 of 2024. 3, the chairperson of Select Committee on Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security, Honorable Moses Ochele, will table the committee report on the Huduma Mashinani program. Notices of motion. The chairperson of the Select Committee on Budget and Appropriation, Joachim Swaga, will give a notice of motion
What is the order, Honorable Moses Ochele?
Madam Speaker, I'm just on page of statement where the acting majority leader is. And I want to believe, Madam Speaker, that the paper, the statement is raising is of county importance. And therefore, it is quite out of order to mention names which are not relevant to the names we have in this assembly. And on that note, kindly, Madam Speaker, guide Honorable Lumumba Wade to state who is this Honorable Swaga in this house. If it is indicated as such in the document, then I think that document is not properly introduced in the house.
And please quote exactly what is in the statement,
most
not
obliged,
what you assume.
most obliged, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to repeat what I've just read. Notices of motion. The chairperson of the Select Committee on Budget and Appropriations, Honorable Joachim Okech, will give a notice of motion for the adoption of committee report on consideration of Kisumu County Finance Bill 2024. That is County Assembly Bill number 3 of 2024. 2, the chairperson of Sectoral Committee Administration on Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security, Honorable Moses Ochele, will give a notice of motion for the adoption of the committee report on Huduma Mashinani program. Madam Speaker, on Wednesday, 2nd October 2024, at 2 p.m., there shall be no business. On Thursday, 3rd October 2024, at 2:30 p.m., at the commencement of business, the chairperson of the Select Committee on Budget and Appropriation, Honorable Joachim Okech, will move a motion of the adoption of committee report on consideration of the Kisumu County Finance Bill 2024. That is County Assembly Bill number 3 of 24. Madam Speaker, on Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 at 2:30 p.m., the majority leader will issue a statement pursuant to orders number 41, paragraph 2C, on the business coming before the County Assembly for the week commencing October 9th, Wednesday, 2024. At commencement of business, Madam Speaker, the chairperson of Select Committee, Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security, Honorable Moses Ochele, will move a motion for the adoption of the committee report on the Huduma Mashinani. That's all, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, it's statement time, so the floor is still open for statement. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8. Adoption of the report, the Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works Committee on the matter of perennial road accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hotspots areas within the county by Honorable Ruben Rakwach.
Honorable Ruben Rakwach.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move a motion on adoption of the report of Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works Committee on the matter of perennial road accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hotspot areas within the county. Honorable Speaker, I wish to state that I'll just go through the note, the moving note, in the interest of time. And it is true that the report was posted on our wall early enough, and even the members who always use the hard copies, I think, are well taken care of. Honorable Speaker, this is the executive summary of this report. This report aims to address the recurring concerns regarding the frequent accidents that have resulted in loss of life at Nyamasaria Overpass in Kachok. The report seeks to investigate the underlying causes of these accidents, assess the current safety measures in place, and identify safety interventions to remedy the future occurrences. The analysis covers various aspects, including the design and condition of the overpass, traffic flow patterns, visibility issues, and the effectiveness of existing traffic control measures. By examining these factors, the report intends to provide comprehensive overview of the situation and propose actionable recommendations to mitigate the risk and prevent future accidents. On May 19, 2024, during the plenary session, Honorable Zachary Kukuyu raised a critical statement concerning the frequent accidents that have resulted in loss of life at the Nyamasaria Overpass in Kachok. In his statement, Honorable Kukuyu expressed serious concerns about the safety issues at this location and requested that the chairperson of the Committee on Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works address the following the following matters. Initiate a comprehensive oversight with an intention of consulting various relevant stakeholders, including but not limited to KENHA, in order to provide a report to the House on the cause of accidents at the Kachok Nyamasaria Overpass and the action the relevant agencies have taken to mitigate the problem. In addressing the matter, the committee was taken through the ad hoc County Transport and Safety Committee report, in which the committee was mandated to observe the most likely cause of accidents in the identified hotspots and come up with the mitigation measures to reduce on these fatalities. And then those who are going through our comprehensive report, this one is on page 5. The report on hotspot areas within Kisumu County, that is Annex 1. The National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, engaged a consultant to identify high-risk areas or hotspots within Kisumu County. Working in collaboration with the local traffic police, the consultant conducted a thorough analysis of accident data and traffic patterns. As a result of this assessment, Nyamasaria and other 42 locations within the county were identified as high-risk areas ranked according to the frequency of accidents observed These hotspots represent the most critical zones where targeted safety interventions and traffic management measures are needed to reduce the incidence of accidents and improve overall road safety in Kisumu County. Honorable Speaker, at Nyamasaria, the ad hoc committee established various observations as the main cause of perennial accidents at Nyamasaria overpass, one of which is speeding and reckless driving. Honorable Speaker, excessive speeding and reckless driving are significant contributors to accidents along Nyamasaria Kachok overpass. Drivers who exceed speed limits or engage in aggressive driving maneuvers such as tailgating, abrupt lane changes, and waving through traffic greatly increase the risk of collisions. And remember, at this area, Honorable Speaker, the speed limit should not go beyond 50 kilometers per hour. Encroachment on road reserves by informal markets. Informal markets and vendors have set up along road reserves, which reduces the effective width of roads and creates obstructions. This encroachment not only hinders smooth traffic flow along Nyamasaria Kachok Road, but also increases the risk of accidents as vehicles navigate through congested areas. Number 3 is illegal parking. Illegal parking by tuk-tuks and matatus is a frequent issue along the Nairobi Road around Nyamasaria, a busy urban area known for its high traffic volume. Tuk-tuk and matatus often park in areas where parking regulations are not observed, leading to widespread obstruction. Vehicles parked improperly obstruct traffic lanes, creating bottlenecks and increasing the likelihood of collisions. This problem is exacerbated in densely populated areas where space is limited. Honorable Speaker, the fourth one is lack of proper signage. Nyamasaria Kachok flyover lacks appropriate signage for both vehicles and pedestrians. And here you will even realize that at the interchanges, there are speed limits. But here at Kachok, you'll bear me witness that there is no indication that when, as you are going through the overpass, you are not, it is not indicated on which speed you should not exceed, Honorable Speaker. Then there is poor road design. The slip road and the sharp bend leading towards the flyover along Nyamasaria pose a significant danger of accidents in that area, Honorable Speaker. And you will realize that the radius of curvature is very small in that area. And even if you look at the bends, there is also always what is called banking, whereby a road is banked at an angle. Honorable Speaker, and when you look at that portion well, then you will realize that these design elements of good practices in design are not well placed. Pedestrians walking or running in the slip roads. The committee observed that pedestrians are frequently seen walking or running along the slip roads leading towards the flyover. This activity occurs at various times of the day and poses significant safety concerns. The slip roads, which are primarily designed for vehicular traffic, are not equipped with facilities or infrastructure to accommodate pedestrian movement safely. And sometimes you may get people walking and even some trying to pull the sugar canes from the lorries ferrying the sugarcane, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the committee, after going through all that and holding sittings, the committee came up with the following recommendations. And our recommendations are on page 7 of our comprehensive report. 1, that the county government of Kisumu should take several key actions to address the issues of road reserve encroachment and illegal parking. One of which is to sensitize traders on road reserve encroachment. The county government should implement an awareness campaign to educate traders about the dangers and consequences of encroaching on road reserves. This campaign should emphasize how such encroachments disrupts traffic flow, poses safety risk, and can lead to legal penalties. By informing traders about this risk and the importance of maintaining clear road reserves, the government can foster greater compliance and cooperation. Be part of it, Honorable Speaker, to revoke licenses for non-compliant traders. For traders who persist in conducting business along road reserves despite warnings and education efforts, the county government should enforce stricter regulations by revoking their business licenses. This measure would serve as a deterrent to others and ensure that those who repeatedly violate road reserve rules face significant consequence, thereby maintaining orderly and safe roadways. Honorable Speaker, I know this one is it is a bit hard, but it is the way to go, because there is a need to educate and to create awareness and to give warnings. After they have refused, Honorable Speaker, and we don't want to continue witnessing loss of life, then this is the way to go. Honorable Speaker, see part of it, impound vehicles parked illegally. To address this issue of illegal parking, the county government should enforce parking regulations more rigorously. This includes implementing a system to impound vehicles that are parked illegally, especially in areas where such parking obstructs traffic flow or creates safety hazards. Regular monitoring and enforcement will help ensure that parking laws are followed and that roadways remain clear and safe for all users. Honorable Speaker, recommendation number 2 is that the Kenya National Highway Authority, that is KENHA, and other relevant road agencies should undertake the following measures, Honorable Speaker. And the first measure here is redesigning of the slip road at Nyamasaria overpass. KENHA should consider redesigning the tight curve at the Kasagam flyover to make it gentler. This adjustment would help reduce the outward force acting on vehicles, which currently contribute to the risk of vehicles toppling, Honorable Speaker. And I think this is the main cause and the main problem at Nyamasaria overpass. You realize that the vehicles ferrying sugarcane, they have a tendency of toppling over here, and it is as a result of this outward force. Honorable Seth Kanga, as a physics student at Kisumu Day High School and a strong member of the committee, an active member of the committee, reminded us that this outward force is called centripetal force, Honorable Speaker. And this centripetal force even gave us the formula that the centripetal force on road design is equal to the mass of the vehicle times the velocity squared divided by the radius of curvature of the road, Honorable Speaker. So when you look at this formula, then you will realize that the mass is directly proportional to the centripetal force. In that, if the mass is high, then the centripetal force will also be high. So where a vehicle carrying heavy loads on these tight bends, they will automatically topple because the centripetal force will be high. Being that the velocity is also directly proportional to this centripetal force, Honorable Speaker, you will realize that at high speed, the centripetal force will also be high. And being that the radius of curvature is inversely proportional to this centripetal force, Honorable Speaker, you will realize that the bigger the radius of curvature, the smaller the centripetal force, Honorable Speaker. And in this matter, if we make the bend bigger, then we will be reducing the centripetal force which possesses the risk of toppling, and we shall have covered the problem, Honorable Speaker. And this is the reason why on a straight road, there the radius is at its highest, at infinity, and the vehicle can move to at its highest speed without toppling, Honorable Speaker. I think I was just reminding you of some physics. There is also the bit of angle of banking, Honorable Speaker. And the same member reminded us that the velocity of the vehicle is equal to the root of the gravitational force times the radius of curvature times the tan of the angle of banking. So it means that the angle of banking is directly proportional to the what? To the speed. So should you increase the angle of banking, then one can safely drive even at increased speed without toppling, Honorable Speaker. And we continue. Be part of it. There was a recommendation that installation of road signage be done, Honorable Speaker. KENHA, along with other road management agencies, should ensure the installation of appropriate road signage at key locations. This includes placing clear and visible signs of speed limits, traffic directions, warnings, and other critical information. Proper signage is essential for guiding drivers, improving traffic flow, and enhancing road safety. It is important that these signs are strategically placed to address specific needs at various locations and regularly maintained to remain effective. See, part of it, Honorable Speaker, is to establish bus parks at major marketplaces. To manage and control parking in busy areas, particularly around major marketplaces, the establishment of designated bus parks is crucial. These bus parks will provide organized spaces for public transport and reduce the incidence of illegal parking along roads. By creating these dedicated areas for buses and other commercial vehicles, the county government can alleviate congestion, improve traffic flow, and enhance safety around market centers. Honorable Speaker, this is the third recommendation of the committee, that the county government of Kisumu should take the actions to address the issue of linear traders by identifying and allocating lands and for linear traders. The county government of Kisumu should proactively identify and designate specific parcels of lands to accommodate linear traders. Honorable Speaker, there are even some recommendations that had been implemented, and that is why they are not depicted by this report, Honorable Speaker. There is an introduction of ripple bumps And this one, you can witness it throughout the Nairobi Road from Kisumu town to around, I think slightly past Rabur. These many small banks at the same point, Honorable Speaker. This was as an intervention which was reached when this report had been produced by this ad hoc committee. And since then, Honorable Speaker, we have seen some improvement, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, it is now my pleasure to move this motion that this House adopts this report of Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works Committee on statement by Honorable Zakaria Okoyo on the matter of perennial accident at Nyamasaria Overpass. And may I call upon my active member who contributed immensely to this report, Honorable Speaker, the Super MCA, the incoming Honorable Speaker, Honorable Seth Adui Kanga, Udu Mwalimu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to second this report on a statement which was sought by Honorable Zaku Koyo on the perennial accidents along the Nyamazaria overpass, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you look at the statement, the response to the statement, the committee went ahead to look on a wider range, not only Nyamazaria overpass, but other overpasses and other road reserves within the confines of Kisumu County. Madam Speaker, the chairs went technical in nature by talking about the issues of accelerations against speed and all the rest. And Madam Speaker, as an engineer, he went overboard to lecture this House on the issues to do with civil engineering as being applied when the roads or the overpasses are being constructed. Madam Speaker, the issue of Nyamasaria overpass, Madam Speaker, since its construction, we have lost a lot of lives along Nyamasaria. But fortunately enough, many accidents have happened in relations to the trailers carrying sugarcane. But, Madam Speaker, we know these trailers passing along or coming to Kisumu, some of them carry highly toxic chemicals, Madam Speaker, which if inhaled, Madam Speaker, one day, if such an accident happens in one of our overpasses, Madam Speaker, as you are aware that there are primary schools, there are police stations, there are medical facilities, hospitals around that place, Madam Speaker. Can you anticipate what will happen? Even if a trailer carrying a highly inflammable gas or liquid finds itself in an accident around that area, what do we anticipate as a county assembly? What will happen in that area? How many lives will be lost, Madam Speaker? We have not witnessed that, but one day, one time, if not measures are taken by the NTSA, the custodians of that road, the Kenya National Highway Authority, Madam Speaker, before we witness such an incident, Madam Speaker, I believe these recommendations should be sent to those relevant government agencies, because this is a very elaborate report which should not only be sent to the Department of Infrastructure, but to this government agency. Because the chair has talked about redesigning the overpass. Redesigning the overpass will require the National Assembly, through the Ministry of Infrastructure, to appropriate funds towards that cause. And if this report is not subjected or is not recommended to those relevant authorities so that they study it and make major recommendations or add recommendations to our report, Madam Speaker, I believe it will not be very good for our county. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, if you look at the report, does not only talk about the Nyamasaria overpass. We have an overpass at Kisat. We have a flyover at Kondele. We have a interchange at Taero. And the report also talks about our major towns, that is Katito, Moroni, Nawase, Masenu, plus the satellites, urban areas like Kotongolo, far to Kombewa, even within our markets, Madam Speaker. Even our traders, Madam Speaker. We know we have a challenge of markets, Madam Speaker, in our county. That's why you'll find that some traders are doing their business or displaying their wares along the road, which is proxy to their customers. But they should be advised on the dangers of doing their businesses around those areas. Imagine if an accident occurs and we lose lives, Madam Speaker. And most of the women who are doing their trades, are the breadwinners for their families, Madam Speaker. Most of their kids are looking upon them to provide basic needs and even provide food and even education for their kids. Madam Speaker, if you don't talk about their safeties, Madam Speaker, then we have no business being in this house, Madam Speaker. And the laws must be taken into consideration while operating within our county, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to also commend the Honorable Koyo who raised this motion, Madam Speaker, because it's a concern. Everybody's talking about accidents along our highways and nothing is done. And the committee has given its recommendation, taking into consideration all the relevant issues around those areas which the Honorable Okoye talked about. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I support the recommendations of the committee as read by our able chair, and I implore the House to do the same so that these deliberations are sent to the relevant authority, not necessarily the county government, but all government agencies dealing with the issues of roads within our county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Okoyo, what is it? Hello. Honorable members, and now that the report by the Committee on Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works on the perennial accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hotspot areas in the county has been presented and seconded, and as per standing orders, I want to propose a question, and I propose that the report by the Committee on Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works on the perennial accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hot areas in the county is now open for debate. Honorable Okoye, I'm assuming you wanted to contribute. Yes, so go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm sorry. I have a cold, but I think I'll manage to contribute because, Madam Speaker, I'm very, very pleased. Let me first start by appreciating the chair of the committee concerned. And I want to say, Madam Speaker, this is one of the reports which I would really want seen implemented. Madam Speaker, I know people or honorable members, some of honorable members sometimes would have asked why I was concerned about the Nyamasaria perennial accidents. But Madam Speaker, being a legislator of this house, a leader in this county, and at the same time a parent, have been getting this information of accidents which are happening at Nyamasaria flyover with a lot of pain. Madam Speaker, there is a time I went to meet the manager of Kisumu International Airport, and we discussed a lot of things about the accidents which sometimes happen. We are just lucky because Kisumu International Airport, we have not seen any accident. But I went to meet this manager because of, he was complaining about the livestock and maybe the lake animals, which sometimes get into the airport and sometimes even sit on the running way. So, Madam Speaker, he told me, yeah, they sit on runway. He told me that we as leaders of Kisumu County, and by extension a leader in the world where Kisumu International Airport is, we need to talk and sensitize the community to keep off livestock on the runway, because please let me finish. You'll talk when you have your time. So, Madam Speaker, because he said if an accident could happen, maybe a plane crashing, the accident, the magnitude of the accident would go very far in the villages. So we need to be proactive to see how we can control such a thing not to happen. So this is one of the things which, Madam Speaker, would you protect me, because I know he's...
Honorable Ochele, what is your point of order?
On statement of facts, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my dear brother, Honorable Zach Okoyo, who is a member representing Central Kisumu Ward, is contributing on a very emotive and sensitive matter touching on an international airport, the Kisumu International Airport, which has got electric perimeter wall. Madam Speaker, by Honorable Koyo raising the fact that cattle are grazing on the runway, Madam Speaker, how could that be possible? And what is he trying to tell the public? That our airport is not safe? Has any incident happened? Has anybody seen any strange animal grazing at the airport site? Because, Madam Speaker, sometimes we should be debating, but we must be observant on the audience that we are addressing. Thank you.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Okoye, you can keep talking without the chair's permission. I hope you are informed from Honorable Ochele's statement of fact. Go ahead.
thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, maybe my colleague, Honorable Ochele, would allow me to finish my statement, then he would know what I'm talking about. But if he's in a hurry, then I would say, because I'm the leader representing that area, I know I have more facts about what is happening around that international airport. But Madam Speaker, what I was doing, I was just giving example that if, and this is something which has been echoed by Honorable Seth Kanga, that we are just lucky the accidents which have been happening at Nyamasaria flyover have been caused by the trailers carrying the sugarcane. Would it be that the trailers which have been causing accident at Nyamasaria flyover are those toxic trailers which are carrying maybe gas or any other petroleum components? would have done a very big damage, bigger damage than what the trailers have done. So this is something which we should take to the right people to check. And I'm happy because what the chair of roads presented is so detailed that if it can be implemented, I know maybe it's not only Nyamasaria flyover which is having or thin or not wide enough to do accident, but maybe other flyovers within the Kisumu County. So, Madam Speaker, I'm just upstanding because I wanted to appreciate what the committee has done, but we should check this on other flyovers, which I think maybe have the same problem, but we have not witnessed any accident. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Alice Wajewa.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the report. And first of all, I want to start by applauding the committee, the chair and the committee of roads for the work well done. I also want to appreciate what Honorable Okoyo has done. And I want to congratulate him for being proactive and coming up with this very important issue. Madam Speaker, when something is good, is good. I want to say that this is the best report so far in this House. And I've realized that we really have professionals in this assembly, and especially the Committee of Roads. We have engineers. We also have physicists, people who have gone to school and learned and talk about things which are so serious, like the issue of our roads in Kisumu County. This report is well placed because it is showing exactly what is happening in our county. All the observations, even me as a resident of this county, I've been observing all those observations. And all the recommendations are superb, all of them. It is my wish that all the recommendations should be implemented to the latter. I don't want to water down the nice things I've heard from the committee, the recommendations and the observations. I just wish to ask our county government to liaise with the relevant stakeholders so that we should follow all the recommendations and they should be implemented as they are. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Bill Ochieng. Bill Odhiambo, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was about to ask if we have Bill Ochieng, but you've corrected it. Madam Speaker, from the report from the Roads Committee, I'm happy. For one, you can see the products of Moi University, and he's one of them. He was a few years ahead of me. Madam Speaker, there's a saying in Italy that says that manyum gwale pige ama upuke pige. And the translation is that when one is given somewhere to serve, where he knows, or rather has more understanding about that place, you can see from what the presentation we've had, the chair roads knows more and a lot of details about road construction. I'm happy about the report, Madam Speaker, because Nyamasaria overpass, we've had nearly a month or 2 months, we have an accident. So it is somewhere that we really need to ask the relevant bodies to help us so that we can save lives. From the report you've had, they've mentioned about 42 areas where are critical in Kisumu County. And I want to stress other areas because for one, apart from that, we have the Kachok roundabout where we've had a lot of accidents. I don't know why, but professionals can tell us more because it is on that road that we even lost a member, staff in this assembly. The previous regime, that was Chepkonga, who was in this assembly because of an accident of a trailer and some tuk-tuk. Some honorable member is complaining. And Madam Speaker, there's another roundabout again. That is a roundabout at We Got Gardens, where after every 1 week we have accidents. That we can confirm because it's a place I know well. We have accidents, and I would love that to be part of the recommendations as we are going to seek the support of the relevant bodies to address the issues of accidents. If you look at the Nyamasaria overpass, I don't know what informed that design, because if you compare designs that look similar to that, we have one at Ahero. And if you look at the Ahero one, it's larger than the one we have here. At least 2 vehicles can pass. If you go outside our county and you go to, I don't know if it is Kericho or Nakuru, where we have just past Londiani. If you look at the other one, we have at least, it can fit 2 vehicles when overtaking. But this design, it should be looked into so that we have another design. I know it is going to take a lot of money from the national government, but life is more important than the resources we have as a country. We should at least have another design to save lives of people and people who come to Kisumu County. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support the statement, and I believe the recommendations and the areas that I've touched will be part of that, that document. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Peter Obasa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me start by applauding a member who rose to this statement. It has been a matter of concern the way we are losing lives along our roads, and mostly at Nyamasaria, where it has consumed people whom I know, and some are relatives even. Madam Speaker, there is also another hotspot that is coming up at Molem, where I think the concerned department should install a footbridge at Molem. Another hotspot area that has not been captured in this report is at along when you are from town along you are going towards Patel. The children crossing from Area Lake towards Tuskys, the former Tuskys United Mall. That's also another big hotspot. And in so many occasions, I've seen and witnessed with my eye, not once or twice, vehicles hitting students there. And I think a footbridge should be installed there to help those students so that we don't lose more future generations. Madam Speaker, on the issue of big trailers causing accidents, I think alternative routes should be created for these heavy vehicle machines. They bring congestion, they are very chaotic in the towns, and bringing more harm than good. At one point, I heard that Rabur, Chiga, Kibos Road was being reserved for these heavy vehicles. And I think it's a matter of concern and it should be raised. Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to support this report with those recommendations which I've mentioned, if they can be captured in. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Yes, Honorable Ratib Boyton.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it will be unfair to the people of Nyalenda A ward if I don't contribute or I don't give my sentiments in terms of what has been brought in the floor of the House today. Madam Speaker, the bypass or the flyover sits, borders Nyalenda A, Manyata B, and part of Kaloleni Shaurimoyo ward. That's why I say it will be important if I also give my contribution to the matter. Madam Speaker, from my own understanding, I believe the committee did a good work. Thank you. We also want to thank whoever brought the statement on the floor of the House. But again, Madam Speaker, if I look at it critically, given that I've been on that road several times, the designs of the road or the design of the bypass at, we call it Kasagam bypass, really may not be the cause of accident. The cause of accident by those trailers ferrying sugarcane is indiscipline. And I believe and I know one of the recommendations is sent to NTSA. Any vehicle is built in a manner that there is what we call center of gravity. When a center of gravity of a vehicle is raised, the velocity of negotiating a corner should reduce. This is the most important aspect that causes accident at Kasagam flyover. And you wonder, you ask yourself, why only trailers ferrying sugarcane? Why not other vehicles? The reason is because these trailers are overloaded with sugarcane, and the velocity, because of the bulk of the sugarcane, raises the velocity, raises the center of gravity of those vehicles. And anytime a vehicle negotiates a corner at a little bit higher speed, the load will tilt the vehicle, and that is what causes the accident. The NTSA should move with speed. The Kenya National Highway Authority should move with speed, so that signages be put on that road, which will limit the speed maybe to 30 per kilometer. That will cure the problem. From my own understanding, Madam Speaker, several times I've visited this accident and we see that is what causes the accident. Number two, the drivers of these trailers come from a renowned and known company, the Kibos Sugar Company. It's high time the management of the Kibos Sugar Company
instill discipline in their drivers. Because careless driving, one of the causes of accident. Poorly constructed road is a cause of, may also cause accident. Indisciplined drivers, overtaking, careless overtaking, overspeeding, and such kind of factors are being considered. But in that particular flyover, Madam Speaker, I believe the NTSA should come up with the signages. The NTSA should task the Kibos Sugar Company to instill discipline amongst the drivers of these trailers. I support the report, and I believe the relevant authorities will work hand in hand, that is the NTSA and the KENA, maybe plus part of the county government, so that we see that accident along that road is a thing of the past. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Miki Ochieng.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to also contribute on this report on the floor. I have two recommendations. I know it's been overtly discussed. Madam Speaker, I'm aware most of us know what happens around Kisumu Boys, the roundabout at Kisumu Boys. And says this report is on driving menaces and accidents that happen on our roads. I'd like to mention that, and I'm mentioning this because I did not hear it on the recommendations or during a reading of that report. The border riders of Kisumu. I don't know if you've noticed, Madam Speaker, but there's a way that when you're coming from Kondele towards town, the border riders use the, I don't know if that's the left or the right. Yeah, the right side, which is the wrong side when you're coming from town. So I don't know if there's a way that can be captured, Madam Speaker, in the report as one of the recommendations of use of our roads. Another thing that I'd like to add, Madam Speaker, is on the use of roads by some of our drivers. Some of our drivers are really indisciplined. There are barricades that are put on the roads, Madam Speaker, to separate the two-way, the dual roads. But you realize that most of the time...
Point of order, Madam Speaker. On standing order number 89.
Yes, Honorable Seth Kanga.
Madam Speaker, as much as I respect the lady Miki Ochieng, there are issues which were not supposed to be, or are not supposed to be part of the committee reports, like traffic offenses, which are very normal or abnormal. Riding on the opposite side of the road is a traffic offense, and there are laws and penal codes to deal with such cases. So as a committee, we cannot deal with traffic offenses because that's an obviously. If you violate a traffic offense, there are laws to deal with, there are traffic officers to deal with such instances. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, that's my point of information I was putting around. Thank you.
Honorable Miki, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As much as I understand what Honorable Seth Kanga is saying, this was my contribution and a recommendation. They may as well choose not to use it. And Madam Speaker, I was speaking about the barricades on the roads to continue my point.
And I know he may as well also still stand up and say this is an offense. As much as it's an offense, the barricades on the law are so low to a point where motorists usually use them to cross over on the wrong side. In as much as it's an offense, it is also a contribution to the accidents that happen on our roads, Madam Speaker, and that is why I'm mentioning it. So whether they use it or add it as a recommendation is not really important. What is important is that citizens of this great county should know that offenses like that are contributors to the accidents that we have on the roads, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Dede,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me also add my voice concerning the report which has been brought on the floor by the ABLE Committee. First of all, to begin with the recommendation part of it, I tend to differ with the recommendation B part of it, whereby the committee states that they revoke the trade licenses. While one is issued with a trade license, it means there are a variety of rules to follow. One does a business, before issued with a trade license, there must be a plot number for that house. And if you say that you are going to revoke the trade licenses, now it comes complicated, being that those who do the business along the road should not be provided with the trade licenses. And to add on that, if you revoke a trade license, is there an act stating that we should be revoking our trade licenses? And as I proceed, Mr. Chair, being that the committee also went for some site visits to see where they moved and each at a particular point, it means the committee copy-pasted some points because they stated that they visited the 43 hotspots which were indicated. Seeing that there was a consultant plus the traffic police who were guarding them, we found that being the 43 hotspot, there is a notorious hotspot which they left out. We got the roundabout we got next to, we got Garden. There's not most notorious. If you consider the number of accidents happening within Kisumu County, I think it's the one leading with the number of accidents within the county, yet it's not even indicated within the report. So it means they pasted the report from the consultant to show that they did their work. Not only the roundabout we got Gardens, all along from Kiboso Market, we've got variety of roundabouts, which always cause accidents at each and every particular time. Even that the roundabouts are so small that if the vehicle navigates a little, and then it destabilizes the vehicle. We start from the Orange House roundabout, we move downwards to Riat roundabout, then we move to Konambaya roundabout.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Seth Kanga, I believe you.
Madam Speaker, I want to inform the honorable member.
Honorable
for
Seth Kanga.
Kisumu North, over the issue of we got Gardens and the roundabout.
Honorable Seth Kanga, I know you are a second-term member and you are informed that you cannot just stand and start talking without the chair's permission. So I think it's becoming a trend, and I think when you stand up, I'll be able to see you and give you the permission to talk. So go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the guidance. Madam Speaker, the member of Kisumu North, my friend, the Honorable Dede, I believe knows something about the We Got roundabout. Because, Madam Speaker, the history of his ward, Madam Speaker, all the members of that assembly, including councillors, served for only one term, including the speaker who resigned to contest as a speaker of this county. So the reason why I'm saying so is because Honorable Dede is the person who broke the jinx of coming as a second-term MP. I don't know, it is because of the perennial accidents that are happening in that area which made him come back. So Honorable Dede should explain to us further, as a representative of that area, if he knows much about the accidents that has been happening in that area. Because, Madam Speaker, it's very unusual for a member to be elected twice in Kisumu North. And Honorable Dede is the first person. And today, Madam Speaker, is talking about that notorious spot, Madam Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I implore you to direct the Honorable Dede to explain to us the jinx behind the accidents in that spot, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Dede, go ahead and give your submission.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Even though the honorable member who was standing on a point of order is much confused, being that we got Garden Roundabout doesn't fall within the jurisdiction of Kisumu North Ward. It falls between in Railways Ward and Kajulu Ward, and is now talking of a member representing North Kisumu Ward. My concern was that most of the people using the road, even he himself, the honorable member was just talking, usually follow the route when he goes to visit the sister each and every time, coming for some goodies at our places, Madam Speaker. You see, if he comes to a region and he doesn't know the specific region where he talks of, being that we got garden, it's in another region. So it's not that.
Yes, Honorable Zach Okoyo, I thought you'd already given your submission.
No, Madam Speaker, I'm just standing on a point of information. I just wanted to inform the member contributing.
Member contributing, you're on your feet.
Madam Speaker, I don't need the information from the honorable member. Only if he wants to inform the House, he can proceed, but not to inform me.
Yes, Honorable.
Madam Speaker, if I may inform the House, maybe,
yes.
just to let the House know that maybe the committee which was writing this report left the We Got Roundabout because maybe the We Got Roundabout needs more prayers than maybe a technical person on how to get rid of the accidents which are happening there. Maybe they realize We Got Roundabout needs more prayers other than any other thing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Even though the honorable member is talking of We Got Garden needs more prayers, I think the honorable member is a bit confused, being that when an accident occurs, we need prayers. If you are in need of prayers, honorable member, we have got a shrine at Abendu. Come, we pray for you, but not by the roadside, honorable member. Madam Speaker, as we conclude, you see that for an accident to occur, we've got to follow many findings, whereby at the roundabout, you see, we are complaining there are no signage, and at a particular point, we have some signage. If we move to the Kachok roundabout, or the Kasagam flyover, or the Kachok flyover, at the beginning of the dual carriage at Nyamasaria, we've got a speed limit which should state that at what particular speed should the vehicles move as we started to negate from the dual carriage. And as we begin from the roundabout along Argon's Cordic Estate, we find that there is also a speed limit which a vehicle should be moving at. And then the diversion to showing us going to the flyover, it's also indicated when you're away from Nyamasaria, Madam Speaker. And finally, for us to at least consider all this recommendation should be reviewed and consider them so that they're being implemented, so that the roads accident within our roads to be reduced to the lowest level. And finally, Madam Speaker, the honorable member who was just talking concerning most of the accident, annulling that, I know something concerning the death of honorable member or the people within the road, and I've used that road to at least retain my seat for the second time, should be guided well. Thank you. But I think the honorable member was to apologize and expunge that, because it alludes that I use other ways to get into the assembly for to be re-elected, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Moses Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I first take this opportunity to commend my deputy at JLAC for presenting serious academic jargon today, this afternoon, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, him being a trained civil engineer, I think he will have gone further to actually help us digest some of the facts he was exuding. You don't just leave your audience or students hanging by throwing big scientific terms without explanation. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate by and large the work which has been done by our engineers. And as Speaker, the designers of these bypasses and overpasses have done serious civil works, serious design works, and I want to believe that they are not lacking in creating the overpass at Kasagam. Madam Speaker, I would just like to help my brother, Honorable Zako Koyo, who raised this matter, to help him understand what Honorable Akwach was saying, because he is more concerned on the final tail where we have the recommendations. But the jargons, I think he was sneering, like, what are you trying to say? Madam Speaker, Honorable Akwach was talking of velocity. Velocity is just speed, the normal speed. So that's velocity. And then he was talking of centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is a force that ensures that everything is retained at the center. So when a vehicle navigates the center, that's the force which retains it there. Then he got, Honorable Akwach forgot to mention what was mentioned by Honorable Boyton, that when an object is hung up or is thrown up, there's a force which will ensure that it doesn't stay there. That force is called gravitational force. So when he's talking of centrifugal force, he should not stop there. He should mention another force struggling with the centrifugal force to ensure that that object comes down. And with the gravitational force, Madam Speaker, it acts all around that bend. We call it gravitational force area. It acts all around the bend, and it is trying to invite the object on either side of the bend. And Madam Speaker, if you add these two forces, the only thing that I'm certain causes the accidents is imbalance. When a vehicle moving at a high speed, which he calls velocity, negotiates a corner, it interferes with its center of gravity, and it interferes with the Newton's third law of motion we call inertia, where an object, if you destabilize the orientation of an object, that it will tend to go that side, forgetting that you had moved on. Therefore, Madam Speaker, with that force, with that imbalance, the trailer at high speed will obviously come down tumbling. Madam Speaker, the main thing in this overpass, which I think most drivers should either be retrained or a directive given, is interfering with the speed. They should be trained on how to control speed when approaching such sections of the road, or when negotiating a corner, when they have heavy mass. Mass is weight, when they carry heavy goods, to avoid interfering with these forces of nature. Madam Speaker, normally, when these muscle trailers, these trailers carrying heavy baggage with high volumes, Madam Speaker, when they reach these corners, I don't know whether the operators get sleepy or they are just excited that they are flying above others. Because when that overpass was opened back in history, there was a lot of excitement. Some people could even just decide, you come into town, but you want just to drive through the overpass to see or to experience what it looks like and how it feels negotiating the corner. I think, number one, we should train our drivers on how to handle such sections of the road. Two, I had the recommendation being dismissed by Honorable this proposal of linear traders. Madam Speaker, I doubt if any sane government can give license to linear traders because first, they are not demarcated trade areas. So I doubt if any officer can license that. But you can find that some of our traders are very tricky and cunning. They get a license from a far area from the road, then they move their commodities to roadside. So we can't blame our officers because they issue license based on the best places for trade. But because we are cunning and we're looking for market, we tend to move where population is. And Madam Speaker, the effect of this was recently witnessed at Lundiani Kericho Junction, where a lorry ran over several number of traders. So, Madam Speaker, the law enforcers, the best thing they should do is to ensure that at any given time, no traders are allowed to trade along the road, whether they carry their license with them or they do it illegally because it is a risk hazard. Finally, Madam Speaker, sometimes when we make laws or we pass motions in this House, some may take them lightly. I remember in 2015, a motion was moved in this House based on a statement which was raised by a member then. And Madam Speaker, it was about accidents happening at Kachok area, happening at Russia area. And that motion, Madam Speaker, after it was passed by this House, immediately after 1 month, construction of footbridge at Lions started, and several others at Nyamasaria. So, Madam Speaker, sometimes when we have this kind of motion before us, we should take them seriously, knowing too well that we are speaking the voice of the people, and if we speak them and articulate them well, the responsible authority will just have to act and act swiftly to help us protect lives in this county. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I thank you so much.
Yes, Honorable Benny Peter.
Madam Speaker, the motion has been robustly discussed, and this is a credit to our people with the physics knowledge and arithmetic have really contributed. Madam Speaker, what also ought to have been included in this report is the number of deaths, because that is the major subject here. When I look at the title, Report on the Perennial Accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and Other Hotspots Areas in the County. But we are not getting the picture on the number of deaths, which is very crucial. So the committee should take note of that, and the measures that should be taken to control the accidents is well enumerated in Annex 1. And Madam Speaker, when I look at this will be the work of the national government. Because when the road we are talking about, it was done and is maintained by the national government. So we hope we shall open our eyes to ensure that the national government and the government institutions in charge, like KENHA, NTS, they do their work to help our people. I support and raise that omission should be looked into. The number of deaths to make the report look serious. Thank you.
I'm not seeing anyone turning up to contribute. So can I call the mover to reply?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity once again to thank the members of Roads, the honorable members who are serving Roads Committee, the Secretariat, and the office of the Speaker and the clerk. The office of the Speaker and the clerk for the support that they gave the committee to come up with this report. Honorable Speaker, first I wish to thank Honorable Seth Kanga for the good secondment that he gave to the report, alluding to the fact that during a design of interchange, civil engineering and traffic engineering must be employed to come up with these safe facilities, Honorable Speaker. And I even forgot to say or to refer members to other hotspot areas which Honorable Seth Kanga did. And then, Honorable Koyo, thank you for supporting, and I wish to appreciate you so much. This was your brainchild. Without Okoyo, we wouldn't have brought this report, because he's the one who requested for it. So thank you for being observant, being caring, and being with the interest of people at heart, especially our people who lose their lives or those ones who lose their loved ones. Honorable Alice Wajeo, thank you so much for the support and for proclaiming that this is the best report ever in this term in this house. And I promise that the Committee for Road will continue to do even better reports than this one. And there is a report which is coming next week, the one on Akodelot Road. It is even better than this one, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Bill Biombo, thank you. That is an alumni. For Moi, the products of Moi are always excellent because it is a university with a difference. It is not just a university as passed there. Yes. Yeah, and you also, Honorable Bill, also observed that there is a problem at Kachok roundabout. There is a problem at Wigot Garden roundabout. And then, thank you again for observing that these curves, the curves of interchanges should be made bigger. And even for the roundabouts, I think maybe he was being cognizant of the Chemelele roundabout. That is the biggest roundabout which has even football pitch. In his understand, I'm being reminded that is the biggest in Eastern Africa. Yeah, I know there are some of these, like the Wigot Garden. The road was constructed sometimes back, and I know there is a slope there, and maybe our national government needs to do something like recarpeting or surface dressing to improve on the coefficient of friction to help so that vehicles don't skid. I know normally it is a problem of skidding. Honorable Baso, thank you for supporting and for also alluding to the fact that there is need or suggesting that there is need for introduction of footbridge at Molem. And care be taken around next to United Mall, where we have got children crossing, so that we can have a footbridge there because of the recurrence of some accidents that take place around that area. And even proposing for rerouting of longer trailers so that instead of using the interchanges, they can use other routes. Honorable Ratib, thank you for also observing that it is not only about the design, but also the discipline of the drivers. So that one is an all-inclusive approach, whereby the design needs to be improved, and also the road users also need to observe rules on the road. And even if the signages will be put guiding the drivers on the speed limits, it will still depend on the discipline, if at all they will adhere to that, or they will do otherwise. Honorable Miki, thank you. You also observed that there are some border users who use wrong lanes. I think that one is left for the police. And if it is so serious, then we can have a statement so that the committee for roads, the most working committee, can sit down and do that. Then we will bring a report. Honorable Dede, thank you very much. Okay, no, sorry. Going back to one of the Honorable Mickey's sentiments that I forgot, is that the road curbs being too low, that the vehicles sometimes cross over them. I think here it is just lack of that discipline that Honorable Ratib Boyton talked about. Because road curbs, they have standard heights, standard design heights. So you cannot do more than whatever is recommended. So it only needs discipline, road users, to observe that they are not meant for crossing over. Honorable Dede, you had a problem with the revocation of trade licenses, but remember, it was not just revocation for trade licenses, but for non-compliant traders. So they only need to be compliant, and then there is no such nini. You also, Honorable Dede also said that they are copy-pasting. That one I don't know how to respond to. There is also a report by Water Committee on Flock, so they can also do copy-pasting and bring to the assembly. We got has not been indicated, but I don't think it is a very big crime, being that the committee was investigating on perennial accidents at Nyamasaria. So we may not have done conclusively all the hotspots, but at least we tried to bring a number to more than 40. I think that one is a commendable work. Honorable Chele, thank you very much. I know you as a scientist. Yes. You're a brilliant mind. And sometimes we even have it, history as it, in the first assembly. You used to have more quality debate than even this time. I don't say that this time or in this current term, Honorable Chele does not do well. He's one of the best performing MCAs on the floor. But in the first assembly, I understand it was even better. It is only that you talked of centrifugal force when I talked of centripetal force. You really define centrifugal force well as that force which keeps an object in circular motion. But the outward force affecting the object in a circular motion, that one is a centripetal force. You even talked of gravitational force. That one tells me that you did not waste time in physics class. You only forgot to talk about inertia. The imbalance, there you are. That is non-equilibrium. The COG, no, those who don't have physics background may have thought that Honorable Chele was referring to that Council of Governors. But it is center of gravity. Honorable Aiko Pete, thank you very much. It is always hard to find Honorable Aiko Pete supporting. For Honorable Aiko Pete to have supported this report, I truly believe that it is a good one that can really impact positively on the lives of our people and will discourage the accidents if well implemented. It is noted that the number of deaths has not been depicted by this report, and that the national government are the ones in charge of this road, and some of the things, the recommendations here, are meant for the national government. We work for the general public, that is the county government and the national government. And a recommendation of this House, if well channeled to these relevant authorities or agencies, then I hope an intervention will be done on the same overpass and we will have a lot of improvement. Otherwise, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me all this time to move the motion and to reply. Thank you, I reply.
And honorable members, and now that the report by the Committee on Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works on the perennial accident at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hotspot areas in the county, has been presented, seconded and debated. And it's time for me to put a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that this report by the Committee on Infrastructure, Energy, Public Works and the perennial accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hotspot areas in the county be adopted, say aye. As many of the contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. And the report by the Committee on Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works on the perennial accidents at Nyamasaria Overpass and other hotspot areas in the county has been adopted today, Tuesday, the 1st of October, 2024 at 16:18 hours. And I direct that this report, together with the answered report, be submitted to the relevant Department of Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works, and the relevant government agencies for purposes of implementation. Next order, clerk.
There is no any other business for transaction.
Honorable, the business. We can be upstanding, and there being no any other business, for consideration, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow on Wednesday, the 2nd of October, 2024 at 9 a.m.